going to do that right at this minute. If you don't mind, would you just stand with me for a word of prayer? For a word of prayer, and afterward, we would ask that you would join me in our pledge of allegiance. Could we bow? Father God, we're grateful this evening for your grace and your mercy. We ask your blessings continually upon this town of Whiteville. Lord, we ask you to bless every resident here, God, and we're so thankful for your coverage and how you protected us during the times of storm, Lord, and our thoughts and our prayers are with all of those who've been impacted by the storms as of late, God, and we just pray that you will just continue to bless those families and bless those communities as they get their lives back together. And Lord, we ask that you would just continue to bless us, bless our United States, God, bless our state, and bless our community. Now we ask that you would just be with us in this meeting and let everything that we do be done in such a way that it might bring you glory. All of these blessings we ask in the name of Jesus. Amen. Amen. Join me in our pledge of allegiance to God. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you. All right, at this time, we ask our recorder if she would give us our minutes.
Here.
Present.
Here.
The March 3rd meeting was called to order by Vice Mayor Alderman, other board members present, Thomas Turner, Ernest Purdy, Jesse Giles, Mandy Nelson, Mayor Brown is absent, of course. Motion was made by Thomas Turner to approve the reading of the minutes. Second was Mandy Nelson. Motion was carried. We had recognitions of CVs and voluntary emergency response services. No old business was brought up. Under new business, EMA representative presented required training. There was FEMA training for elected officials, officers, and public service workers. Failure may affect eligibility to receive federal funding. The Whiteville Elementary School request for donations was tabled. A motion was made by Jesse Giles to approve the CDBG resolution to apply for a new fire station for a 2025 grant, of which 6% share is not to exceed $63,830.96, and the total grant with the matching is $783,800.54. And that was seconded by Tommy Turner. Motion was carried. A motion was made by Tommy Turner to approve the DRA grant application for the year 2025, and that was seconded by Jesse Giles. Motion was carried. Motion was made by Maddie Nelson to select the architecture engineering firm Fracture Design for the Whiteville Allen White Cultural Center project. Second, Thomas Purdy. Motion was carried. A motion was made to approve the sale of equipment, which is attached to the minutes as Exhibit A, presented to the Public Works, from the Public Works and Police Department. Second, Tommy Turner. Motion was carried. A motion was made by Tommy Turner to declare the purchase of the emergency purchase of ARV replacement due to required compliance, and that was seconded by Jesse Giles. Motion carried. A motion was made by Jesse Giles to approve the bid request for the sample station. That was seconded by Tommy Turner. That motion was carried. A motion was made by Tommy Turner to approve the utility adjustments of $582.86 and charge-offs of $175.27. That was seconded by Jesse Giles. That motion was carried. A motion was made by Tommy Turner to approve the pay invoice for February. That was seconded by Jesse Giles. Motion carried. Reports from officers, staff, and board members were given. Notices of activities were given. Comments under the citizens, the McGowan Lisa Park for Easter events. And there was a public hearing open floor for the fluoride matter, which Hardeman County Health Department representatives addressed the board. Having no other business to come before the board, a motion to adjourn was made by Tom Turner, second by Jesse Giles, motion to adjourn.
All right. All right, you heard the readings of our minutes from our last meeting. Are there any questions as it relate to those minutes?
No.
If there are none, then we'll entertain a motion to approve our minutes from our last meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes of our last meeting.
Second.
Okay, the motion's been made and met with a second that we approve our minutes from our last meeting. All those in favor, let it be known by the sign of aye.
Aye.
And those who oppose, the same. All right, motion carried. Okay, next on our agenda, it calls for, comments from the mayor. The only comments I would have this evening is that I want us to be mindful, when we have our meetings, that we want to make sure we're always following our Robert rules of order, so that we can conduct all of our meetings in an orderly fashion. And, so we wanna make sure that we are mindful of that, we want to stick with that, with those, Robert's Rules of Order, when it come down to parliamentary procedure of conducting our meetings. So, old business, and I think the first order of old business, on our agenda today is the donation of the Whiteville, to the Whiteville Elementary School, as we do annually, and I think you would have that in your package there. If you had an opportunity to look at that. Whiteville Elementary donation letter, okay.
Do anybody remember what our donation last year was? Lord knows, I sure can't
I think
remember.
we did 5,000.
Did 5,000 last year.
Well, I'm believing in always going up, so I'll make a motion that we, make it, 6,000 for this year.
I second that motion.
All right.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Could y'all made a donation to Whiteville Elementary School or the Whiteville Elementary, or the Whiteville High School project? I mean, what is this donation for?
This goes into the school's general fund
Okay,
for them to utilize however they see
Okay.
fit.
that's for elementary school?
Yes,
Okay,
and, so that would be the designation, or the designation.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we supposed to fill out this to designate where these funds are to go? Because they got three different things where it could go. Is they just supposed to use it at their discretion? Are we supposed to use it as designated to the school fund? And then they got a blank, is it designated to the faculty and staff accounts? Shouldn't it go to the school general fund?
Yes, ma'am, that's what I was thinking.
And when we cut a check to them and submit this, or Angela will submit this, and
Yeah.
and it will be checked to the school fund, to the
Thank you.
general fund.
Do we all need to fill out our
Oh,
individual things?
no, there's no need for each, or did we?
No, we didn't.
No, but
I think we got
they
the
didn't,
donation.
they didn't send a letter
That's right, no.
like this.
That's right, no.
All right. So we. So we had a motion and we got a second on it, so all those in favor, was making the donation of 6,000 to the Whiteville Elementary School?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, motion carries. bid follow-up.
It's still for the water system.
Okay, y'all see that?
Yes, sir.
So what's your pleasure? Y'all looked at those?
I have. This was our only bid.
Yes.
Water sample station.
Since this was the only thing we came across and the only bid that we got, I make a motion that we accept the bid as recorded.
I second
So we just got one, right?
Yes,
it.
ma'am.
That's the only one.
Have one.
And,
Yes, there's,
Yeah.
we have two, Core and Main and US Blueberry.
Who that?
Core Main is one.
What is
And,
one
yeah.
US.
For me, okay.
It must be on the back.
Oh,
Oh, that's on it, yeah.
Not separate right here. They stay together.
Okay. You see the difference in them,
No, one is 11,000.
one 11,000.
and the other
So it was 10.
one is 10.
I make a motion we go with the 10,900.
You always go with the cheapest one here. It don't make it
So I think it's the bid.
Yes.
It might not make a difference, it's just that.
If they doing the same thing.
So which one is it?
The core and main.
Core
Core and
Main,
Main.
Core and Main is 10,900.
What y'all bid on?
Our sample station. Fix our sample station.
Sample station.
Yeah,
It
that's just
has to do
water.
with our water
Water
supply
system.
system.
Yes.
Oh, here.
And they've been working
Something
on
we gotta
it.
have.
All right, so, okay.
Right, that's about $100.
All right,
Two.
okay. We have a motion to,
Well, y'all can, it's not what you say.
okay, do we have a motion to move forward with that lowest bid?
I make a motion to move forward with the lowest bid.
I second. All right, the motion has been made and met with a second that we, go with this bid from Core and Main. All those in favor, let it be known by the sign of aye.
Aye.
And those who oppose, motion carried. Okay. All right. Next item on our agenda is the mixed-use ordinance. And this ordinance to amend the text of the town of Whiteville zoning ordinance, amended standards for residential, commercial, mixed-use occupancy, in a B1, which is the central business district of the downtown area. And so, if you had an opportunity to read that, and that had gone before our zoning commission, and now it is back to us, and, we'll just need to,
This is the second
vote on this
reading on
bid.
it. Is
This
this the
is the
second?
first reading. This is the first reading for that.
This is the first reading.
Yeah. And we recognize this as the first
Okay,
reading.
well, I make a motion, we make this our first reading.
I second.
All right, the motion's been made, met with a second, that we recognize this as the first reading, for the mixed-use occupancy ordinance. All those in favor, let it be known by the sign of aye.
Aye.
And anyone who opposes? All right, motion carried. Okay, the next item on our agenda is our committee, members, our audit committee members. Or appointees. Okay. And we're not required any, these are just our appointees.
No, we haven't voted on.
We have to vote on these, so these, you see this list of our town of Whiteville audit committee members, the appointees that we, and we'll need your approval for this committee.
So we got Mr. Odell Green,
Mhm,
chairman,
chairperson.
Mr. Tommy Turner, vice chairman, Lena Parker, secretary,
Mhm,
Chandra Lake, and Corey Buck.
okay. Y'all have any comments, any questions?
Motion that that this committee be accepted.
I second.
All right, the motion's been made and met with a second that we accept this,
Audit committee.
audit committee, appointees here. All those in favor, let it be known by the sign of aye.
Aye.
And all those who oppose, the same. All right, motion carried.
What you say, this the ordinance committee?
Yeah, the audit,
Audit.
yeah.
Oh.
When we do our audit, then this committee, would come behind and actually,
Anyone need to hear these names? You already, anybody wanna hear the names? You like to hear the names? Odell Green, chairman, Tommy Turner, vice chairman, Lena Parker, secretary, Chandra Lake, and Corey Buffer. You're welcome.
all right. The audit committee. All right, next item on the agenda.
Yeah.
He said the next item, I said board member.
Board member,
Appointed.
yeah. Our board member appointee.
Yes, next.
No.
So our board member appointee, Mr. Forbes, Field Forbes,
Yes, sir.
front and center, please.
Ooh. I didn't know I was gonna get called up.
So, this is Mr. Phil Forbes. He and his wife, Robin, they reside here in Whiteville. And he can tell you all these things about himself here, but he is the person that we have, selected, to fill the slot of Miss Debbie Burking, on our board. And, I personally feel that he'd be a good one, and most of us have had an opportunity to meet with him and talk with him. They've been at our meetings, the last few months, and, so, y'all have anything you wanna say to Phil?
Let me tell you a little bit about me.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about you, Phil.
So Robin and I grew up in Memphis and Raleigh, and we've got 5 kids. I spent 22 years in the computer business, and then another, 10, 15 years in construction and selling generators in Louisiana mainly. We moved to Louisiana in 2010, and we stayed 12 years. And when we got ready to retire, we came back here and just kind of picked Whiteville. Didn't know exactly what we were doing, other than we were coming back to Tennessee. That was the big criteria. So we've really enjoyed living here. I had the good fortune to meet Tommy and Jesse and Mr. Bowden and Mr. Ernest. And I told Gene about, I don't know, a year or so ago, that if there was ever anything the city needed that I would be, or the town needed, I'd be more than happy to help if I could. I had no idea. This is what it is. But we enjoy Whiteville. We like it here. We want to see the town, I hate to say grow, but
Yeah.
improve.
Props,
Yeah.
props.
You know, small is not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad.
But
That's
to
not
get,
bad.
to improve some things around the town and, maybe grow a little bit would be good, and anything that I could do to help propagate that, I'd be more than happy to try to do that. And serving as one of the aldermen, would be one way for me to contribute, so. That's kind of where we are. We're here. We're not going anywhere. Some people have said I spent too much money on this house. Well, that ought to prove one thing. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, right.
Last one.
All
Yeah,
right.
This is it, so.
This is it.
Anybody got any, food for thought or questions or?
What was your name again?
Philip Forbes, yes,
Phil.
ma'am. Phil.
I'm glad to have you come aboard and to put in your input in along with each and every one of us. I think you make a good person.
We enjoy, Whiteville and everybody we've met. I mean, all y'all and everybody else that we've met's always treated us real good and real kind and nice. That's a big one on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so, I enjoy being able to sit on my front porch. I can see the police station, the post office, and almost City Hall. And the library.
Yeah, in the library. All right, Glenda, yay. Okay.
I'm not being in the sun.
Well, thank you, Phil.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so, we had an opportunity to meet Phil now, and, so what we will do, we'll go ahead and approve Phil if that's, this
Yeah.
board will approve it, and,
Wow.
Give you a motion.
Yeah, you know that?
I make a motion to approve Phil as a police, city board.
Philip Ford, Phil
Phil
Ford.
Philip Forbes. You can call me Phil is what I go by.
Okay,
Yeah, Phil.
Phil.
My mother used to call me Philip. so.
Okay.
He'll think he's in trouble if he calls.
Yeah, that's true.
I second the motion.
All right, the motion been made met with the second that we, accept Phil Forbes, as our appointee for our next, alderman to fulfill the slot that was vacated by Ms. Debbie Burkhamp.
Okay.
All those in favor, let it be known by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Anyone who opposed? All right, motion carried. So,
I have a question though, behind that. Once your term is up, are you planning on running
I don't
in
know.
that spot?
I don't know. You know,
Are you interested in running in that spot?
I'm not opposed to it. Like I said, my big thing is finding a place where we can serve and help the town grow a little bit. If that's Alderman, that's Alderman. If it's something else, I definitely don't want his job. I hope I never have to get another one that they pay me for. So, but, yeah, I don't know. I had not, I'll be honest with you, never crossed my mind, never thought about it. Wasn't planning on it. This is Gene and some of these other guys that decided to
reaching out.
that they were interested in asking me if I'd be interested in doing it, and I am interested in doing it, and I may well run next time. Yeah.
Okay.
Good deal. Yeah. All right.
We're not going anywhere. So.
All right, okay, so you'll be here, all right. Good deal. Okay, moving on right along. So the next item, or items on our agenda, other business, it would be adjustments and charge off. Yeah,
Had a little miss this time.
okay. Adjustments and charge offs, okay.
What's the late charge adjustment? What is, I don't understand that. I see the leaks, but the late charge adjustment, is that for
Ma'am?
people paying late?
Go,
No,
go.
ma'am. So that was just a clerical, error. one process was skipped before they ran the penalties. So they realized they forgot to do something, so we just had to fix it.
Yeah, thank you, Angie.
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve our adjustment in charge-offs.
I second. All right, the motion been made, met with the second, that we, approve our utility bill adjustments and charge-offs. All those in favor, let it be known by the sign of aye. Anyone who oppose? All right, motion carries. Okay. Okay, paid invoices. Paid invoices, okay. This is where we look through them and we pay our bills, right? Any questions regarding anything in those? The list is quite lengthy.
Same here.
Quite lengthy.
Reports from officers.
That's
Paid
next.
invoice.
That's next. I'll make a motion to have it.
That's a lot of them, have you looked at them?
All right.
So, yeah.
Same thing.
I have a question on the, paid invoices. Angie, you probably can answer this one. When we do the paid invoices, and some of them you know what they're for, like, Southwest or whatever, but when they have a name by them, or when they,
What you
just
talking,
a
vendor?
regular name, yeah, by them, you don't know what that invoice is for, it's just like, it's,
Yeah, like Ace Hardware.
What-
So, what,
just like if you had an invoice, say Matty Nelson, then what is that invoice for? All it's saying is you paid Matty Nelson $5,000, but what was it for? It doesn't say what it was for. But if it say Southwest, then $5,000, we know that was for electrical, 5,000.
So, when you see something that quite large, we have a PO process, purchase order process, where the mayor reviews the PO, before those amounts are spent. And then we have the treasurer that also looks at the check and it's signed. So if you could just give me an example of any particular one you're looking at.
And of course, an invoice would be,
Anthony Walker.
So
Okay.
if you're looking at
It's a-
Anthony Watkins,
yeah, it's
he,
a tree
so
cut.
the city had an insurance audit where public entity will drive around. They'll look at some things that needs improvement or corrections that may be considered a liability. So we had trees that were hanging over the library, so they recommended that we get those limbs cut because, they can follow the building, stuff like that. But that was him in particular.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, if we're gonna vote yay, okay, pay the bills or whatever, but I was saying we didn't know, you're saying yes, pay the bill, but you don't know what you're saying yes to, you understand what I'm saying? Kinda like, you just explained it, it's for trees, okay, we understand that, so is it any way that, like, we can put for, what do you call it, what do you do, Tom? Kind of work, landscape, something like that, that be.
So this is not typed up, it's kind of generated through our software. We don't have where you can just
Same thing every month.
go put a
No, that don't be the same every month.
little note, but I
Different
mean,
thing.
the mayor
The way
can
it
ask
printed
any
out.
questions if you review it.
Print it out.
And, Ernest and CC's them as well.
Yeah, so,
Especially if they're
So we see the invoice before we sign off on the check to them, so that's, I guess that makes it, transparent, because myself and our treasurer both sign off on it, and we don't sign off on anything that does not have an invoice attached to it.
I understand that, I was just saying
If
for,
I may,
okay.
you know, just the daily operation spending, that doesn't really go before the board. Only the things that are regional level, that's, the quotes 4,000 or more, we
Or
can
more.
get the quotes when it's presented at the board. And that one was under, so technically we need your approval, it's
Mhm.
kinda automatically approved as long as it's within the budget. So anything above that should come before you, quotes, except the chemicals.
I'm just,
So what?
That's excluded, exempt chemicals.
Chemicals.
that was my question.
Okay. Any other questions? And of course, you'll see Mr. Curtis Herron there, and that's another example in some of them. You know, he does,
Yeah, construction.
Construction.
Yeah, right,
but I mean, you recognize some names and you might not recognize the others.
right, exactly.
Okay, that's fair. All right. Do we have a motion to approve our?
I make a
Pay
motion,
invoices.
we approve our pay bill.
Second.
All right, the motion's been made and met with a second that we approved our paid invoices. All those in favor, let it be known by the sign of aye. Anyone who opposed, the same. All right, motion carries. Paid invoices. Okay, so at this time, we'll have reports from our officers, staff, board members. Okay, so, let's see. Chief, Ben, you want to give us a report at this time? And listen, I'll just say this, so appreciate, the work that y'all been doing, following the storm down there and particularly at Grand Junction, and the way you've helped out, being right there on the scene, shortly after the storm hit, just helping out the way you have, so we appreciate that.
Well, I don't have anything specifically to say as far as the police department for this past month. I mean, y'all got the
We got
reports,
that.
our incident reports and citations and stuff.
Yeah.
I can respond, I guess, to the elephant in the room that was all posted on Facebook this weekend about the sirens.
Yeah.
You saw that.
So, I did make a comment back, concerning the sirens, because I felt it's my place to respond to it, considering my position in town. I've been pretty much overseeing the sirens for over 10 years now. The police department has a majority, if not longer. For the longest, we used to have a switchboard, a Wayland board that used to be in the old investigator's office. He got hit twice. We had to replace it twice because he got hit with lightning. So then we relied on, at that time, whenever dispatch was at the sheriff's department, they would set it off. They had a Wayland board up there that they set it off. Ran with no problems forever. You know, we had the Wednesday tones that would go off to let us all know that they were functioning and stuff. Well, then we had a big switch up where dispatch got moved from there to the 911 building. It took a minute for them to get the system, the Wayland system from there to over there. They got that done. Everything was working fine. Lightning hit their stuff, you know, and it fried that Wayland system. So then 911 has been trying to look at a different system to be able to activate the sirens, in which myself and the 911 director have been discussing it for a while, and she had even gotten in touch with Chief Graver to help get some numbers and stuff off the siren towers. So we got 3 towers. We got one at the prisons, we got one right here at the fire department, and one at the end of Allen Extended. So the numbers that she was needing off the boxes is some type of, go with it, DTMF code. Chief Graver and them looked all over the thing for it, could not find that specific code, but he did find some other numbers and stuff. It's actually a Wayland box.
Okay.
He did find a lot of numbers and stuff on it. So ComServe was contacted last week. They are and the reason why ComServe was contacted, Chief Graver actually tried to get in contact with Wayland out of Connecticut, and that kind of was like a dead end. They couldn't really help them. So contacted ComServe out of Memphis. They are a Wayland distributor. Talked to their guy over that. It wasn't even like an hour later, he had his tech call me. Told him what type of system we have, because we have like a 2-tone system. We can't get on there and we can't talk through our system. It just does tones. I gave him the numbers, what Chief Graver and his guys had gotten off the boxes. I told him what we was needing, the DTMF codes for 911 dispatch. He is working with Wayland to get those. Now, we are not gonna solely rely on 911 dispatch. Even me and the 911 director has agreed on that. They still wanna help out by doing like our weekly tones to make sure that everything is working properly. But I informed the tech, just like I talked with the mayor about it. We wanna have our own board back here again. We're gonna have it at the police department, since we pretty much have 24-hour coverage there with somebody on duty. But we will also have it set up with the National Weather Service. There's some other cities here inside the county that has had it set up. It's something that was new to me. It's something that gets programmed into it or something that where if the National Weather Service says Whiteville, you know, it's in this Paragon, this tornado warning to watch Paragon, it's automatically gonna set those alarms off. It ain't gotta go through me or go through dispatch. It's gonna automatically go through them. So we're kind of having like 3 backups. You know,
Okay.
we got the National Weather Service, we got 911 dispatch, we got us.
Okay.
I even discussed with the guy about having something mobile that perhaps me and the fire chief can have where we can set them off from our vehicles. Spoke with the 911 director about it. She said it's very costly. And she said, plus, if we ever had to change vehicles, it's very costly to get it switched from vehicle to vehicle. So I said, because I had to pick her brain, because, you know, a lot of the siren stuff is new to me as
Yeah.
well. So we thought that's the best thing. We got us with the station inside the police department. We have 911 and we have the National Weather Service. So that is what the plan is for the sirens. They are supposed to be here this week. They are going to go to each site. And I told them, I said, they haven't been inspected in a long time. They're gonna inspect each site. We know that the tower at the fire department, the batteries are not charging up. I informed them about that. The batteries is kind of like the backup system. So if the direct power to it goes off, it still has battery backup. So I was just letting him know that so he knows to bring whatever extra parts he needs to bring. So they're gonna go to each tower and inspect each tower that day. And I will say, I know this is gonna be over the 4,000 mark, because prior to COVID, those boards themselves, just to buy the board itself, I know was $1,500 at the time. There's no telling what it costs now. You know, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but by the time that we buy that board and have them come out and inspect every one of the towers and fix whatever that they need to fix, I know we're gonna be looking over $4,000.
This is something we need.
So, and I don't know if we gotta have a vote as far as an emergency purchase, or if y'all need to wait till next month and I'll bring an invoice, for it, but I can already tell you it's gonna be over $4,000.
So all of them are gonna go off at the same time, right?
Yes, so that's how it was set up prior to that they always went off at the same time. And that's how we're gonna continue to do it. so.
All right. Anyone else?
Once they get them set up, they're gonna do a test for the,
Yeah, we're gonna go back to how we used to test. We're gonna, test every Wednesday at 12 o'clock like we used to do. And I want people to understand that the sirens are almost pretty much like the notifications we get on our phones or what we get on TV with the warnings. It's just an extra warning. And I can tell you from the other night, sirens, that everybody said well, not everybody, but they said the sirens were going off in Bolivar. I live inside Bolivar. I couldn't hear them. I'm in my house. I'm watching the news. I can't hear them. Sirens are mainly for people that are outside that are not aware of what's going on. And it's pretty much to let them know that I need to seek cover because these sirens are going off.
Yeah.
A lot of times whenever you're inside your home,
You can't hear it.
you can't hear it now. I will tell you, if you're living right there around Island White, you're gonna hear that because it's right over you. And Woodland and stuff, if you're right across from the fire department, yes, you're gonna hear it. But,
Depends on which way the wind blows.
yeah.
cause I think the last one, they said the last warning that we got on the phones, somebody set the church bells off, and I could hear them. But it wasn't a specific time, it was just a warning to kind of help out the city, I guess.
And I would really like to thank First Baptist. This was the first time I ever knew that they had a basement, a cellar. You know, so they opened that up for people to come there. The pastor, the day after the first storm, that following morning, I think they was getting like a foot of water or more out of the basement. They was having to get a suck pump to get all that. So he was spending a lot of time with that. I called him that Saturday and I said, hey, we got another system coming in. And he said, I'm gonna try to do my best. And they got it cleaned out and they opened it back up for people for Saturday. So I will say we got very lucky. I think within the past few years, Whiteville and Bolivar has gotten pretty lucky with these storms because how they've been going here lately has been northern Mississippi going up right through Grand Junction, the county, and then right up, they call it Fayette Corners, and up through Hill area. So we've been very, very lucky. And I will say that what I saw the night of whenever the tornado hit Grand Junction and everything else, it was a mess.
It didn't hurt the school because they got that.
Yes, it didn't hurt the school, thank goodness. A lot of the places that were kind of brick structures held pretty decently. Now City Hall took pretty bad damage.
I think Grand Junction School is the only one in the county that can hold, ain't they?
Is that what they call the shelter?
Yeah.
So, yes, the shelter itself is a certified shelter.
TEMA. Yeah, it's been certified through TEMA.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And see, and that's the thing about it, cause, you know, we used to try to use the school up here, you know, for covers and stuff.
Can't do it.
But, you know, yeah, for liability reasons, we can't because, you know, it's been advised to us, it's best to have a TEMA approved shelter to be able to tell people, you know, where to go to and stuff, but, but yeah, if nobody has seen what it looks like in Grand Junction, I'll be going back down there tomorrow around lunchtime to pick up our generator and stuff. If anybody wants to ride to see it, I will say if you go down there in your personal vehicle, you're not gonna make it past highway patrol. They're being very strict down there, that if you do not live down there, they're not gonna let you in. It'll probably be close to lunchtime, so be about 11 o'clock or so. Are you up at that time?
Usually not.
I used to see him walking around that time, you know, that was during the summer months.
I gotta take the hand to the doctor.
All right. Okay, thank you, Ben.
All right.
All right, appreciate it. Yeah. All right. All right. Okay. So.
Good evening, board.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
I don't have a whole lot more, y'all do have my report.
Okay.
We had 6 incidents where fire department was called out. We had 14 medical, calls.
Yeah.
We had 2 training events. We had a search and rescue at the fire department. We, on the 24th of February.
Okay.
That was a real good training. Our training officer, Quentin Helmuth, he found something, and we blindfolded ourselves and went through a maze and assembled tools and did different tasks while in a state of not being able to see. And so that was what we did on the 24th. March the 10th, we did PMCS, which is preventative maintenance checks and services on our apparatus. Last Friday, we had B&E, that's a radio service out of Jackson, come down and fix our new engine. They put took the radio from the pump panel in the back and put it in the cab to where we can now respond to calls with our new engine. So our new engine is in service as of last Friday. And, we're still waiting on a couple of pieces of equipment that need to go on it, but it's at a point now to where it can respond to calls.
Okay.
Like Ben said, we did go to Grand Junction, to help with storm relief on Thursday morning. We worked with Bolivar Fire Department, and Bolivar and Whiteville kind of got together and went down as a team, and it was a good thing. Hadn't even coordinated with Ben, but when I saw Whiteville's trailer man post pulled in, I was like, wow. They step in where when they're needed.
Yeah.
The,
It was
county.
impressive. Yeah.
But y'all have any questions for me?
Yes, with the 911 call, before they built that dollar store, the new dollar store, they said that the helicopter was gonna be able to land behind it still, but the last time it had to land at the city park. So is there gonna be something ongoing or what?
That's, so we are, trying to put a book together of landing zones within the county. And so that's something that we're working on. The land behind the fire department is too low, for them. I would say 90% of the time, the chopper couldn't even land in that area, because of the ground. Now, the size, it's not quite what they want, so a lot of times the pilot's he's gonna abort there and go to the road. And that's something, we could shut down Independence from there where the cabinet shop is, or right there at that lane going back to the trucking, facility. We could shut it down from there to the front of the fire department and have them land on the road. That was an option for us. For some reason, the ambulance department is the one that selects the landing zone there. They're now, they've gotten used to the park during the wintertime, and in the wintertime, it wasn't quite as big of a deal, but I am looking at, with it getting warmer, there's gonna be more and more people up there, and it's not gonna be as good of a place. So we're in the process of finding different alternatives, around our district. And I just talked with Roger Austin from, he owns that old parts store on the highway. And so we're looking at behind there, if that's an option right between the clinic and the old parts store. So that's another spot that we're looking at, an alternative for our nice landing zone that we used to have beside the fire department.
Yeah. All right.
All right,
Thank you, Matt.
thank you.
All right, let's see. Glenda?
Okay, so this week is Food Waste Prevention Week, and so I'm doing 3 Facebook story times this week because the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation sent us 3 books to do something with for this week. The 16th is National Pajama Day, so we'll be doing story time on Facebook again that day. The 18th will be our egg hunt at 12 o'clock, and on the 24th, we will have a PowerPoint class if anybody would like to come and learn how to do a PowerPoint.
Okay. All right, thank you, Glenn. Okay. All right. Any of our board members? Mr. Pearl, anything?
No.
Ms. Ozie?
No.
Mr. Giles? Okay. Mr. Mabbey? You have anything else?
Anything else?
No. All right, Mr. Turner? Okay. All right, Ms. Angie? You have nothing? Okay. All right. Okay. So notices, meetings, activities, and so forth. What we got? The elected officials.
Yeah.
Elected officials, virtual training, April the 10th.
I pulled that up, Angie, but it's like a 3-hour,
You have to register for it.
yeah, it's like a
It's
3-hour
long,
course.
real long.
Thing. One of them is 4 hours and one of them is 3 hours, but the MT,
It's a long time.
yeah, that's the one we're gonna take, and that's the one 3 hours.
Yes.
We getting paid for that?
Probably get a certificate.
Yeah, like, you know, the other,
3 hours,
the thing
the one
with
that's
this
coming
program,
up
it's a
10,
long
yeah.
time.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, wow, I can't sit still that long.
So,
You do it on the phone.
so be mindful of that. I think y'all probably got the email, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put that
And then,
It's at 5,
What is the
4?
McGowan Easter egg?
In the evening,
It's
at 4:30.
4:30.
It's fine.
okay.
Easter is,
So-
so
And we
they
can
gonna
get
have
that
that
done
this
in
week.
daytime.
Glenda's gonna be the 18th.
That's a.
They said,
That's already set in place, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's
those are set in place.
something more like
So I think,
a call. You just
the
listen.
library's annual Easter egg hunt, you said, Glenda,
It's
that's,
on the 18th,
That's on the
it's for
18th.
Good Friday, it's lunch, we'll have the Easter bunny and, food.
okay.
You have real eggs?
No.
At the price of eggs, okay. And then the McGowan Foundation, the Easter, event. Anybody,
that's on the 19th.
that's on the
That's
19th?
Uh-huh. The next day.
April.
Okay, the next day.
Already told them that it
April
was
19th.
okay.
Okay. Food and support drives for local areas and storm victims. Does anybody have any information about how, I guess, collection points, who's doing what? And-
If I may, City Hall is one of the drop-off locations.
Okay.
I really don't know the others, but
We gonna, have we already started our pastor,
Yeah.
for the church? We already started.
We started yesterday in our church.
Yeah, we.
Okay, so-
So we need to bring them all to City Hall,
Well,
bring out, bring it here.
you can.
yeah, it doesn't matter.
Well, I think,
One out of church
Pastor,
members was
what's his
convicted
name?
in
Pastor
that.
Pope, we gonna pick up
Sunday-
from the
Sunday
hill, I
Sunday.
think, right?
She lost
If I'm not
everything.
mistaken.
That's what,
Yeah.
Hey, Mayor, if any of the churches have donations that they wanna take down there, if they coordinate with us, we can escort them down there.
Get it down there.
Okay.
So that, that they can get down there and stuff, so people know what church and stuff that it came from.
Okay,
Okay,
So,
Okay,
we
that's
can
good.
help them get through the roadblock
okay.
and
I got
stuff like that.
okay. All
Pass that
Good,
along.
good. Use our police department.
They're asking
City
the people
park.
not to bring any more clothes,
Right.
they don't want clothes
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
What do they
No
need?
clothing.
Well, Manny
Something
could probably
said-
tell you.
I don't know at this
He'll
point,
know.
because, you know, they've been working with Tima and everybody else on bringing stuff in, so I don't know
I don't know what
exactly,
I don't know
what they would
needs are
need.
either.
After tomorrow, they probably have more information, cause team is supposed to be down there tomorrow.
Okay, so after tomorrow,
Okay,
more
thank
information.
you.
Okay.
Angie, how does it work with the city park now? Someone called me wanting to know if they could get the city park for July the 4th to do some type of concert or something, musical event. How does that work? How do we handle that?
Well, they have to address you guys.
They have to-
just don't want-
They need to come and bring it to the meeting, so they need to bring it to this meeting, the
If
next
it's
meeting.
not like a small
So-
birthday party, and you're trying to have an event,
Uh-huh.
which the city doesn't usually do, the city does events.
Then they'll have to come before the board.
So they come before the board,
Mm-hmm.
okay, same. Cause
Okay. All right,
a musical,
okay.
what, something like we had up there, like the city had.
Any comments from any of our citizens out there?
I'd like to say something.
Yes.
Good evening.
Mhm.
I read what Officer Ben said, and I agree with everything that he said. I remember when the siren used to go off. I just came to Whiteville in 2010, and I was so tired of that every Wednesday it was going off. But then I forgot about it. I didn't hear it no more, and I totally had forgot about it, but you told them right. If they got complaints, come here and say something. You ain't saying nothing, don't say nothing. But my concern is the light at the post office. When I come on that parking lot, it is dark. Is there any way that light can be fixed? Right there, when you parking, and there's a light right there, but there's no light burning, it's dark.
Is that gonna be a street light from Southwest, or is that gonna be?
It's on the parking lot, it's on
It's on
the,
the
you know how you park on the front, and then it's right there in that corner, if you're going toward the back, it's right there. And it's dark when I come to
You
there.
know which ward she talking about? Well,
I
we
know
just have
what
to
she
let
talked about.
Southwest know, we let Southwest know.
It's a number on that pole there.
Yeah, all they'll need to know is the number from that pole.
Yeah.
And they'll put it in, they sure
Okay, so
will.
the lights burn out,
Uh-huh,
okay.
all right, thank you.
I'll tell my night shift guy to drive there tonight, since
And
they
get the
should be,
number off.
yeah, it should be on, and get that number, and,
Okay.
yeah, we can give Southwest a call.
So you're gonna be the one calling, the
Yeah,
police
yeah,
department?
we'll give Southwest a call.
Oh,
Normally, you know, we try to, as much as we can, City Hall would normally let us know, hey, can you drive around? We got several lights that are being complained that are out, can you get the numbers, and City Hall would normally try to set it up, but,
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, but they'll come and replace yours at home if you let them know the address.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
they did ours.
all right. Anyone here from Harper Elite Athletic Training?
Mayor, if I may,
Yes.
there is a letter.
Oh, that's right, there is,
Their
it's in
father
our,
originally addressed the Whiteville Elementary School, for some reason, they just wanted to use the gym, but the school told them
they
to get
could,
permission from us, so I don't know why they did that.
so they sent a letter to,
Since we have, you know, the city doesn't control the gym, one of the options were, everything he wants to do that's in this letter is free for the youth. He needed a place to cut hair and everything like that, so he asked for the nutrition center to do that on that Friday, and then that Saturday, he wanted to use the ballpark, for coaching basketball and stuff for the youth, but he's feeding them and everything is supposed to be absolutely free. And, if anybody wanted to donate hot dogs, food, snacks, water, he'll take those type of donations.
And this is the Harper Elite
Okay.
Training.
He called me too, and he said that he would like for some of the pastors to be there. to
yeah,
help.
well, yeah, I see it in his letter here, he sent a letter, and, yeah.
So where is he from?
He's related to the McGowans, not McGowans, but the McGuires.
He grew up. Yeah, he's from this area. We talked about, he went to Whiteville Elementary School back in the day.
I mean, it's good.
Yeah, but I see everything he's doing, it seems to be helpful,
I coach him on.
and it's really not taking anything away from us, so.
Yeah, they got real strict about using schools.
Yeah, I know it's a
because
process.
Homeland security, that you gotta have, just can't.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I have a concern I'd like to raise.
Okay.
I moved into the Whiteville community about 8 or 9 years ago. And here lately, with the weather patterns getting more intense, I feel that the Whiteville community needs to look at the options of, and what's necessary to get a authorized shelter. So when tornadic activity happens, the members of the community will have someplace safe to go. I understand, I talked with the fire chief, he said, we don't have an authorized shelter. And we need an authorized shelter, because if the weather patterns continue to get more intense, there's gonna be, and tornadic activity happens in the city, it's gonna be a lot of destruction. And probably a lot of lives lost, and I think we ought to consider that.
Thank you.
I think the way that the TEMA grants are on that is they look at, how occurring the weather is in your area and stuff like that. And I think that can help determine how much that we can get as far as a grant.
A grant for.
You know, for a community, storm shelter. I don't know when it opens, but I know I was trying to look at it some this weekend. And that's one thing that they look at, how often, is your area hit. And I mean, and we've been very lucky, y'all. I mean, Corners and Hill was just.
All around, yeah.
Because, I mean, really, if you, Whiteville, the Whiteville itself is in 3 different counties, so it may not be right directly here inside the city, but we still got a lot of people in Whiteville, in the county area, that don't have a place to go to.
Yeah.
Mayor, if
Yeah.
I may,
Go ahead,
Isa, you
Isa,
remember
yeah.
speaking with her, so she's already looking for, since we addressed the concerns with her about why, she's a grant writer with Southwest. So that was one of the things that she is on her list to look for grants, you know, for the storm shelter, you know, multi-purpose building that we need in home. So that's being worked on as we speak.
Good. All right, thank you for that. Okay. All right. Is there anything else? I can't think of anything else before we obtain a motion to adjourn. Well, thank all y'all for coming this evening. There's nothing else, board members? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
All right, motion been made and second that we adjourn. All those in favor, stand to your feet. All right.